Greetings, Pete Blair here, aka the Mad Scientist. I had a problem with my 40 volt Ryobi lawn mower. Now I went back and forth with the company over and over and over, and they sent me to a repair center who said I needed to remove and replace the complete drive assembly. I thought that was kind of weird, but he also said that it was back ordered, the part was back ordered, it had been back ordered for 30 days, and he didn't have any idea when I might get it. He then suggested that I go back to Ryobi and tell them that they need to replace the mower. So I went back to Ryobi again, back and forth. We went back and forth for about 3 weeks and had to borrow another lawnmower to mow my lawn. And finally, well, at one point they offered to send me new wheels, which I knew it wasn't the wheels. But finally they decided to send me a replacement lawnmower. So once I got it, I realized, well, I'm not too worried about screwing up the warranty on the original one, so I thought, well, I'd just play around and see if I could determine what the issue was. And as I suspected, it was not a whole lot of problems to fix it. I think part of the problem is I'm in British Columbia, grass is wet most of the time, I wash the lawnmower off after every wash, and so I was constantly, I guess, adding rust to the parts in the mower. So if you follow along, you'll see what I did. I should have said I rinse it off after each mow, not after each wash. Be sure to do this process to both wheels. I don't show that. These are the tools that I used. So here's what's happening. When I try and maneuver it on the lawn, it just digs a hole in the lawn. There's a screwdriver. There's a little notch in the hubcap. It just kind of slides in. It's got a couple of little catches that hold it in place. Then I'm using a 1/2-inch socket. Just unscrew the bolt that's holding it in place. Holding the wheel in place, that is. So then I didn't know what was wrong, but I assumed it was something in the wheel, not in the actual whole assembly. So just take the wheel off. Under that is kind of a, I don't know, some sort of a shield. Take that off. Then you'll need a set of pliers to remove this little circlip, or you can probably pry it off. If it goes missing, you probably got a problem. So the circlip pliers work really good. Save that. So here's where the problem is in this gear here. When it's pulled backwards, it's supposed to just turn nice and free, and then when it's driven by the motor, then it's supposed to latch. So inside there is this kind of cool device that allows it to go one way and stop the other way, and that's driven by a pin. The pin goes through this shaft, and what was happening with it earlier was that this pin was dirty and it didn't slide back and forth in the opening. So what I did was I took it out and I took some 400 grit sandpaper. I just cleaned the pin up the best I could, got it nice and clean and slippery, and then I didn't know if I'd have a problem in this hole that it has to slide through. So I just made up a small piece of wood with a slot in it, put some sandpaper in that. I can slide that into the hole, I think, yeah, and then turn that, and that'll clean up any garbage, rust, anything that's in that hole. And all I did was I just filled all this up with WD-40 and a little bit of oil. And once I did that, this pin slides back and forth in there, no problem. it just goes easily back and forth, as you can see. So it'll go in here into this gear, and then it catches on the dead side and it stops it from going, and then when it turns the other way it works. So all I did was I just cleaned it up, put WD-40 and a little bit of oil in it. This time I'm going to put in this product I just got from WD-40. It's supposed to be a corrosion inhibitor. So I'm hoping that, because I live in British Columbia, I have to mow when the grass is wet. I like to wash my mower off after I'm done. So I'm hoping that this inhibitor will stop this issue and keep it running a long time. Now I plan to do this in the winter when I put it away. So now you can see it does spin really nice. It didn't when I took it off originally. I also put a little oil on the shaft that the wheel runs on. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it might be anodized or something. I don't think it's plastic. Just replace that pin, or that circlip. Kind of tighten my pliers here. A good way to clean up the pin in them is if you have a drill, and you can just put it, chuck it up in the drill, use your fine sandpaper, polish it up, turn it around, do the same thing again. That'll clean up that pin so it's nice and smooth. I'm using 400 grit. You could use 600 or 800, whatever. Still gets a nice clean pin. Okay, so replace that. I'd give that a shot of the anti-corrosion and the shaft as well. Shield goes back on. Place the wheel, the nut. It's nice and snug. Put the hubcap back on. And now when I drag it backwards, it comes backwards. It doesn't lock. It actually, I believe, runs better now than when I got it. So if you're having trouble with that, those wheels locking up, I would suggest you just do what I did.